Join us as we shine a spotlight on compelling conversations with leaders from Washington State and beyond. This is Conversations with Katie Hall. Every tear, every setback, every triumph, it all led here. Join Katie Hall for the season finale, We Have Risen. Hello, everybody. This is KD Hall, and I'm bringing you into our season finale of Conversations with Katie Hall. Tonight, we get a chance to focus in on us, our mission. We'll talk a little bit about the past 10 years of Girls on the Rise, our college ambassador programs, and all of the wonderful people across the state of Washington who have supported our work. We're also going to celebrate the present moment. We're at 10 years. Our first cohort of Girls on the Rise are graduating from the Why Not You Academy. We're so excited. We also are going to celebrate and plant seeds for the future. Although it's been 10 years, we are just getting started. We have risen, and we look forward to seeing you throughout this episode. So, Angela, thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course.
Oh, I appreciate you so much. 10 years, can you believe it?
Yes.
10 years for the Katie Hall Foundation.
Yes.
Much longer than that for us.
More like almost 20 years for you and I.
Almost 20 years.
And it's more than 10 years because we had the conversation about you wanting to build it.
So we are so happy to have you. Can you just talk to us a little bit about your work?
Sure.
Why are you involved with women work, education, so many different things that you do? If you could share with us a little bit about who you are.
So a big part of this, right, comes from my father saying each generation must do better than the one that came before it. So I've spent my life thinking, what does that mean, right? What does that mean if my mother wasn't allowed to get education past fourth grade because she was a girl? What does that mean if we think about generational wealth and how we make sure generations that I will never meet have what they need to be successful? What does it mean if we think about the different challenges of health as it comes to women and as it comes to people of color? And then how do you resource people to be able to have what they need? So that's what drives me, based on my mantra of I want to be a good ancestor. So that's who I am. I'm an aspiring good ancestor if I had to describe myself.
But when I hear your story, I can see why you do the work that you do now. But can you talk to us about philanthropy and why it's so important? And what do you take from your childhood and the way you were raised as you're being a good philanthropist?
So I struggle with being called a philanthropist. I know that I have a responsibility to my community, right? I have to make it better than how I found it. And this just happens to be one way. So I started out, almost 28 years in education. That was the way I thought I could drive change. But when you're working in public education, when you're leading an education nonprofit, resources are always a challenge, right? You lead a nonprofit, you understand that, right? Resources are a challenge. So when the opportunity came up, two opportunities, I guess, if you think about philanthropy. One was to create the Black Future Co-op Fund, which is helping make sure that, organizations that are led or serve, Black and brown people in Washington have the resources and infrastructure that they need, right? The other piece then is, going to my current role at the Gates Foundation, and really trying to make sure it connects with my values. So when I first considered it, that I'm not sure, and then being able to be in there and then work in place and to work with people like you to say, what is it you actually need? You don't just need us to build something new, and then let's make sure you get the resources to do it. That's the other piece of being able to invest and make sure that resources are actually going into spaces that actually need it, and being able to spread that wider. People are like, well, there's not enough pie. I'm like, let's go get more pie, right? This is my way of I'm gonna go find some more pie for people.
Let's speak about the Black Future Co-op Fund. You guys are one of my funders, and I thank you so much. And you also started at a very unique time. Can you just talk to us a little bit about why you ladies started the Black Future Co-op Fund and what you do exactly?
So we started the Black Future Co-op Fund as a response, when George Floyd was murdered, we were exhausted. Or and it's not the first time that's happened. It's just, it was so visible. Technology has made, the harm more visible. And my first thought was I give up. We keep trying to get ahead, whether it's my lens as a woman, my lens as a person of color. We keep trying to get ahead, and then people just keep pulling us back. And as I sat there, I was actually looking at my map thinking I just need to go somewhere else. What am I gonna do here? And I just got hit with, you can rest, but you can't quit. if you quit, you will not be a good ancestor. So I reached out to, Michelle Merriweather and said, like, what are we doing? Who's leading the agenda? And she's like, you want to meet with me tomorrow? And so that's when Tawana Nobles, Senator Tawana Nobles, Michelle Merriweather, Andrea Capaign Sanderson, and I met the next day and formed what is now the Black Future Co-op Fund. We formed the commitment, and then we went after the funds to say, how do we make sure organizations have resources, have infrastructure, and don't have to struggle to get those things, because you guys are doing hard work on the ground every day.
The Black Future Co-op Fund in particular, as a funder, is you fund, but you also set us up so that we can get out there and gain more funding for ourselves.
Yes.
A little bit of independence as well, and I love that, because when you give nonprofits unrestricted funding, then we can invest into things that we think are important to help us build our platforms. And so that's what I like about it, personally. So keep doing that good work. Keep doing that good work. Now I want to talk a little bit about this book.
Okay.
I have a copy at home, and The Queen Code, Guide to Your Personal Strategic Plan. Talk to us a little bit about your book.
Okay. So this is a labor of love. I was terrified to actually publish this book, and it took me years to do it. It's funny, the connectivity to your work. So I was one of your first speakers of Women on the Rise before you did the evolution to Girls on the Rise. Prior to speaking at your conferences, most of my speaking engagements were about education. And as I've aged, I guess, I don't know, matured, people have asked for my tools, like, how are you making decisions? How are you doing things? I've had a windy journey like everybody else, and had a time when, my heat was shut off, my house was in foreclosure, my car was under repossession, and I had to, reinvent myself. So, went to law school. That was hard. And again, broke. And, fast forward to where, I get my first CEO role leading a nonprofit. And then now I'm at the Gates Foundation, as one of the United States leaders, which is an absolute privilege. And people keep saying, how did you do that? So this book is sharing, like, here are the things I thought about. Like, here's what I went through. It wasn't all, rainbows and unicorns. Here's what I went through, and here are the tools.
So what do you want to say to 16-year-old Angela?
16-year-old Angela, thank you for actually starting in the most rudimentary form of the personal strategic plan by having goals. Thank you for being idealistic in thinking you can change the world. 53-year-old Angela is still idealistic in trying to change the world, but she gave me the foundation and the confidence to still be doing it. And my hope is that she would be proud of what I've done.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Thank you so much for sitting through this 1-hour finale with us. Dr. Angela Jones, absolutely phenomenal. I hope that you decide to come out and join us on June the 13th. I want to bring in our next speaker and keynote, Dr. Ben Danielson. He's going to talk about health and social equity. And Dr. Ben Danielson and I have been knowing each other for 10 years. And the person that brought us together is no other than my daughter, KJ.
Welcome to the space. Ashe is a center that I started a couple of years ago. It sort of got one foot in the University of Washington and then a big foot in community. We're here in community and we have these amazing offices. We bring young people and multi-generational folks together to talk about a world where we do not incarcerate our young ones.
And what can you share? I know that they have agency, but what can you share about what some of their thoughts are around how do we stop the school to prison pipeline or the incarceration system of youth?
They have all kinds of different ideas. Some of the time in our lives, we get so busy trying to, I spend a lot of trying to change policy, trying to reform things a little bit, trying to stop the problematic components of prisons that are so racist, that make it so hard to see yourself as somebody who can be accountable but also continue to grow and live. And these young people really bring that. They talk about how when they feel a sense of belonging to community, when they feel like, I don't know, like eyes are upon them,
yes,
like lovingly, but also accountable, but also like willing to say, this is how you should move in the world. also listening, saying, you have brilliance as a young person, tell us what you need. When all of that is happening, I mean, that's beloved community, right? So these young people describe those things. Really talk about focusing on what should be in our communities, how to make them fully self-sustaining, how to celebrate our cultures and our identities, how to feel like we live with our ancestors,
Yes.
but also live with our progeny and our futures, all of those things.
How did you have the courage to be able to stand up for not just yourself, but for the hundreds of children that you were working with over the 20-year stint, that you were at Children's Hospital?
I appreciate this question, and I don't always feel like I showed any real courage, but I did feel driven and that I had a responsibility. We say stuff, right?
Yes.
We talk about how we want to move in the world. We present ourselves to other people, maybe especially young people, as having a certain set of values. And when it comes down to those moments when you need to live into those values, you need to live into those values, and you have to take the steps that are going to matter. I think I tried for 20 years or so to make change happen from within an organization that was resisting that change. And it came to a point where I really felt like the change was going to be more powerful by resigning, by leaving.
Yeah.
I felt compelled to do that out of my obligation to your daughter,
Yeah.
right? And what she believes in. And also I felt like I had a bit of privilege. I've gone from being dirt poor,
Yeah.
sleeping in cars,
Yeah.
in foster care, being in trouble on the streets in DC, to having a life of more comfort,
Yes.
and with that, more responsibility. So I felt like my privilege was something that other people didn't always have.
Yeah.
And they were also treated poorly by this hospital, by the healthcare system,
Yes.
by the ways in which sometimes people look at somebody who doesn't look like them and thinks that they are less than them.
Yeah.
So I felt like I had to act.
Yes.
And I felt also extremely loved and supported and held by my community, my Black community. And I don't know, the feeling of that is really, really special. Sometimes we know our community is there for us. You know your community is there for you.
What do you want to say now, 4 or 5 years later, to those families that's still out there living resiliently with sickle cell?
Oh, I am so in awe of families who live that struggle every day and still do not allow a disease to define them or their children. That is so important. Another thing you taught me, by the way, and Foxy.
Yes, Foxy.
You can have a disease and it does not define you. You can have a condition. That doesn't mean that everything about your world is about that condition.
Exactly.
So I watch KJ, I listen to you, I see how there are different ways to move in this world with strength and power, and I think that's really inspiring. I also want to say that I really feel that we are so much better together. That whatever strengths I have, I hope I can share with you and other parts of our community, and the strengths that you have are poured into our community, and together, that's how we lift up our children. When children are suffering from conditions like sickle cell, they need to know that they're safe. They need to know how to take care of their bodies. They need to care about their health in deeper ways, from the water they drink, to the nutrition that goes into their bodies, to the love that they're surrounded by, and to the aspirations that they can live into. All of those things need to be there, maybe especially for sickle cell, but I think true for all of us.
I agree. And Ben, what is your future hopes for philanthropy, community work, nonprofits, education in the next 25 years from now?
It's interesting that you ask in the next 25 years, because I would love to see nonprofits think about 25 years instead of 2-year cycles. I would love education to be so evergreen that our elders can re-enter whenever they need to, and our young ones can feel like they enter a space that is full of promise and every hope for them. I think about the quarter century of the ways in which nonprofits need to see themselves, not as, simplistically either working themselves out of a job. I hear that sometimes.
No, I don't understand that. I get it, but I don't get it.
Yeah.
That's not why I started the foundation.
Right. Or thinking that they need to be there forever. That
Yes.
neither of those are really
true.
necessarily true.
true.
The work you're doing is more important than your
Yes.
work in that the people that you're supporting are more important than the name on your logo, probably, right?
Yes.
And so a 25-year kind of perspective allows you to think of how you are useful, how you're helpful, how you grow and change in that work, but how you don't assume that you are the work, or
like
that
that.
you are somehow the only one.
That can do the work.
Yes.
I like that.
And you also don't think that you can sit on the sideline and wait for someone else to do the work.
You got to be a part of it.
You've got to be a part of it.
If you can go back to 14-year-old Ben Danielson that was leaving Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
and moving out to Montana
Yeah, for high school, yeah.
for high school, what would you say to him?
I refuse to tell
Yes.
a 14-year-old today, you need to be twice as good, or a 14-year-old black male or female, that you have to suppress and hold back your emotions because they will not be accepted by others. I refuse to say anything like that, and I don't think we should accept that. And if we do continue those kinds of ideas, we will not see change. We will just spin our tires. Hi, y'all. I'm Ben Danielson. I'm a pediatrician. I've spent a couple of decades working here in the Central District here in Seattle, and I am so thrilled for the June 13th event coming up. Katie Hall is bringing us together to celebrate young black women, to support young black women, and to make sure that we as ambassadorial males, as champions for this space, as supporters of Katie, and as dreamers and lovers have a chance to really encourage this space and support the futures of our young people.
Thank you, Dr. Ben Danielson. Thank you for sharing your work with us. We cannot wait to see you at our 10-year celebration and learn a little bit more about Ashe. Hey, everybody, this is Katie Hall. We are back. Let's go ahead to this next segment so you can hear a little bit more from our girls. What advice would you give to other high school girls who are struggling with their mental health?
Some advice I would give to middle school girls and high school girls who are struggling with their mental health: go to somebody, a friend, a teacher, like somebody who works at a school, an adult, anybody, because your mental health affects your future, and it affects you and affects everything you're doing. Like, if your mental health is bad, you're gonna do bad in everything. It's just better to get help. Even if you feel like you don't wanna ask for help, it's gonna do you better in the future if you do. I am Jamaria. I am Girls on the Rise, and we are changing lives one girl at a time.
The advice I would give to high school or middle school girls about their mental health is never be afraid to reach out, because there's always someone who is willing to help you, that cares for you and your well-being, whether it's internal, external, physical, or mental. You can always reach out to your family or get professional help or talk to your friends even, whichever one helps you the most. I am Dana, I'm Girls on the Rise, and we are changing lives one girl at a time.
Mental health means putting yourself first even when it doesn't feel comfortable, and prioritizing not only your feelings and emotions, but the attention that you give yourself and the intention you put into the actions you do on the daily. I think it's important to focus on your mental health so that not only the people around you know how you truly feel towards them, but so you can further understand yourself and why you love the certain things you like, just generally how you feel. It's important. I'm Kayla, I'm a Girl on the Rise. We're changing lives one girl at a time.
It's important to check in on your mental health, because if you don't, you can easily fall into a depression. You can become suicidal, and being suicidal isn't a fun thing, and then you can also get anxiety. It's also important to check in, because if you don't check in on your mental health, you won't be in the right state of mind, and you're going to start falling out on things you don't want to do, like, not talking to anybody and not saying anything, like, at all, and not wanting to do anything, wanting to stay in your room and stuff. And you don't want that. You always want to be in a positive mindset and make sure everything is right. So if you, get right with God, guys. Like, it's okay. It's okay to not to check on your mental health, but at the same time, you really should check on your mental health, because it's not right. It's not right at all. And that's all I have to say. I am Janaya. I'm a Girl on the Rise. We are changing lives one girl at a time.
Mental health means based off how you're feeling and where you're like sitting at, because a lot of people are struggling. You could be struggling, I could be struggling, and nobody even knows, because some people feel ashamed to reach out about their mental health, and you should never feel ashamed to reach out about your mental health, because at the end of the day, it's what you're going through, and we're trying to help you. And a lot of people have lost their lives to suicide, depression, their thoughts, because they had negative thoughts like, oh, no one likes you, nobody wants to be your friend, and that just really gets to a person at an age. It gets to a person and they get tired of this, and then they feel like they can't reach out to nobody, and that's when they commit suicide, or they just go into a depression and then stop, And that's why I feel like it's really good to check on your mental health and reach out to people, reach out to your close friends, your parents, get therapy, or just honestly reach out to anybody. Reach out to anybody and just try your best to cope with it and really talk about how you're feeling, because you should really never be holding in all that inside of you, because it's really not good for you. I'm Coriana. I'm a girl on the rise. We're changing lives one girl at a time.
The advice I would give to other girls that are struggling with mental health would be to check in with some people, your friends, teachers, parents, cousins, and get help that you need, therapy. I'm Junaja. I'm a girl on the rise. We are changing lives one girl at a time.
If you don't check in on your mental health, you might tend to lose your mind and go crazy and feel like everything is crashing. And if you have it in check, you know yourself, and you know how to deal with heavy situations and hard situations. And so, that's why it's important to check on your mental health, in my opinion. I'm Serenity. I'm a girl on the rise, and we are changing lives one girl at a time.
I think it is very important to check in on our mental health, because everybody has mental health, because everybody has a brain. It's very important because some people like to downplay mental health as something that's cringe or weird, or maybe it's just that it's uncomfortable to talk about. But it's very important, because a lot of people who don't talk about their problems, they struggle with personal problems that are going on behind closed doors that they might not want to talk about. But that's why we need to check in on people and, even check in on yourself. I'm Amor. I'm a girl on the rise, and we are changing lives one girl at a time.
Mental health does not start at an age. You don't start caring about your mental health. Our mental health doesn't happen once you're 20 or 25. It happens all your life. It's something that is always happening to you that you can never stop. A lot of the time, I feel like one of the things that you're always going to hear is that, oh, well, I'm older, I have to pay this, I have to pay that. What do you have to be stressed about? Doing homework? But it's not that you don't have a reason to be stressed. It's that you are stressed. You don't want to be stressed. It's not something that you want to happen. So mental health is something that you should always care about and always prioritize. I am Apple. I am a girl on the rise, and we are changing lives one girl at a time.
One of our code of conduct is conflict resolution and being able to do what's right. And sometimes you have to put team before self. And when I think about our girls, that's what it's all about. And so when I think about Girls on the Rise, I'm just very excited and hope that every girl in Washington State gets a chance to experience it.
We are Why Not You Academy, Girls on the Rise, and we are changing lives, one girl at a time.
Hey everybody, this is Katie Hall. Welcome back. Let's go ahead and tune in to the rest of the season finale. Oh, Katie Hall Foundation. When I really think about it, it probably started as a little girl. I'm one of 6 children, and 5 of us are girls, right? Or were girls, we're women now. But when I think about just like my life and my upbringing, It was always about women. It was always about girls. It was always sort of about equity. We didn't say that, but that's what it was about. And it was about us being able to be like women of honor too. It really started when I was in college. I was a junior, and me and my friend Shantae, we started an organization called Sisters of Success. And I went to a predominantly white college in Michigan, Oakland University, Rochester Hills. And I remember telling my friend Shantae, like, look, we need to start an organization and it needs to be multicultural. So we need to have like everybody at the table, because if we have everybody at the table, then we're able to make sure we're going to have a larger reach. And so she was like, absolutely. And Shantae was so organized and detailed, HR student. So she got our paperwork done. We became an established organization. And for a year in 2004, we registered over 500 students to vote for president for the 2004 election. And then from there, we went into women in politics and women breaking the glass ceiling. And we did that work, and it was so much fun. And then everything just derailed for me. In December of 2004, the FBI came and like knocked on my door, and I'm like, whoa, like what's going on? I was sick because I worked a full-time job, like especially my last 2 years of college, because it's just the way it was. I had to pay for my apartment, I had to pay for food, and even books, because everything was so expensive. I could only get so much financial aid because I did work. But when the FBI came to my door, I remember thinking, oh my God, like everything I was doing just felt like it was about to stop. I had a talk show I just started, a sports talk show in college. Oakland University basketball team, we made it to the Sweet 16 that year. So it was a big year. Sports was huge. And I started a sports talk show as a woman, and it was my own, it was independent. And it's so funny because it's like everything I'm doing now, I already was doing this as a young girl. Like I knew I was so focused, so motivated. And anyway, all of that just crashed. And the FBI was like, well, we're here because, you know, you're a part of a RICO. And I'm like, a RICO? I didn't know what that was. I mean, at that point, The Wire wasn't even out yet. So I didn't know what a RICO was. And so they came into my apartment. I knew I was in trouble. And immediately my mind went back 2 more years, which is 2002 when I worked for a bank. So judgment is very important to me, and really being able to size up situations and understanding like who people are and what are their intentions and their motives is very important too. And at that point, I was naive. And so I thought she was my friend, and she introduced me to this guy. What I didn't know, and I learned this very quickly when FBI came, he also hired people. He had a whole RICO case going. He had people with fake IDs and everything. I never got paid. I might've got $2,500. 2 years later, I found out that they walked away with about $10 million. And so when the FBI came to my door, although I only got $2,500, I'm responsible for this $10 million because I'm a part of the case. I'm a conspiracy. And at that point, I'm a writer, a journalist, so I'm like, a conspiracy? Hold on, I be writing conspiracies. What are you talking about? I'm caught up in a conspiracy. And I was a journalism student at WDIV Channel 4 News, which is like equivalent to a King 5 here in Seattle. And I remember just all my dreams fell apart. And the next morning, I was in the Detroit Free Press, and I was named as a person that was about to get arrested, right? So I had 24 hours to turn myself in. And my boyfriend, David, I called him, and I was just like, you know, this is what happened. He came over, and I just fell in his arms, and I was just crying because I knew like my life was over with at that point. I'm like, I really had something to do with this, but I didn't know it was this big of a thing. So I had to tell my parents because people started knocking on their door, because I was like a star athlete in high school, made it to the semifinals of the Junior Olympics, went straight to a 4-year college out of a Detroit high school. And the schools, this is the reason why I care so much about schools, because the schools was broken up between the smart kids, they would say the kids who need learning disability, and the regular kids. I was considered a regular kid at a Detroit public school. So for me to go to college, it meant everything. I had to work hard. I was the first person in the family, our little family, to go to a 4-year college, which meant I lived on campus, all this responsibility, and really I wanted it, and I'm happy I did it, but I wasn't ready for all that, right? And so everything just went away. I was embarrassed, and we went to court, and I immediately did a lie detector, made them aware I didn't do this part of it. So eventually the whole point is the 30-year charge ended up getting dropped, but I was still facing 5 years. And that time in my life, it humbled me, and it made me really think about you're really going to prison after you graduate from college. Like, you made it out of the school to prison pipeline K through 12, and now you're in it as you're graduating from college. So as I got my college degree, I was actually writing a book. It was a very sad time in my life. And honestly, Katie Hall Foundation was written in that time. It was all about timing on when we roll it out. The great thing is, actually, we're walking in on 20 years, and in November, I'll be forgiven, from the United States of America, which means everything to me. And so when I think about Katie Hall Foundation, I started this originally to be able to forgive myself, but it became way more than that. I never expected to be able to truly graduate about 90 women and girls out of colleges, not only in Washington State, but I even graduated a cohort out of University of Michigan. And then working with all these young girls over the last 10 years has been remarkable. So it's like, as I was rebuilding myself as an individual, this organization came out of it. And I'm like, wow, we're really doing this. And we're 7 years into it. Okay, people are really giving us hundreds of thousands of dollars to do the work like this. This don't even feel like work. And so where we are today is we're at 10 years. And as you know, everything is in chaos right now. And organizations, even the large nonprofits, even all the way down to the small ones like us, we all are at risk right now. And we're at that 20-year mark. I just think that Katie Hall Foundation is going to weather the storm, because I personally have weathered so many storms and been able to get back up. And when I think about all these girls that's been through our programs and looking at their faces and hearing their stories, I have no choice but to do this work. However, it's time for us to get the organization in a space where the next generation of leadership can come in and do the work. And I can do bigger work on the board and being able to help transition to more of an education focus and really partnering very closely with kids at charter schools and public schools in particular. And when I think about the Katie Hall Foundation, not only has it saved my life, but it has saved so many other girls. When I look at all the women who have received scholarships from us, even board members, at least 3 to 4 of our board members receive scholarships to pay for their higher education. And so when we talk about rising and we've been changing lives one girl at a time, it all started with me. I was that girl. I was that girl that had to believe. And I'm so grateful that I had a male ally from the beginning, and that's David. Like, truly, he was there. And I remember in court, the day that I went in for my sentencing is different from the day that you go in from, being convicted of what it is. And my actual conviction was in June of 2005. And I remember David being there with me. And then again in December 2005, I found out I wasn't going to prison, and I only got sentenced to 1 day. And so when I got that second chance, I took it very serious. And me and my judge, we were friends all the way up until he passed away. He was almost 100 years old. Judge Cohen and people that's like Judge Cohen, I want to thank you, because you really did give me a second chance. He saw the type of person I was. I was taken off probation 2 years early. I even had to ask the federal government if I could marry my husband. I had to get approval to get married. And we got married, and the judge believed in us so much as a couple that he signed off for me to go to the United States Air Force as well. And, it was interesting because I ended up getting hired by University of Phoenix. So it's always been education and media, always there. And so when I think about what we're doing today with the foundation, we really do need a whole nother level of leadership. We need board members, we need volunteers, and we need people to help take this work from year 10 to year 20. And it's time for me to move into a different space to be able to really evangelize for the foundation. So when I think about why I started Katie Hall Foundation, it's because of, it started with me, and it started with girls like me. It started with the underdogs. It started with the athletes. It started with the scholars. And just because one bad decision can change the whole course of your life. And in my case, my bad decision, I think, made my life better than what it would have been if I didn't make that decision.
This celebration, this 10-year event is absolutely historic. I couldn't be prouder of the work that Katie Hall has done. I couldn't be more proud of the work that the foundation has done. And that's why we're asking every single person out there to come support. The time is now. The community is ready. The foundation is ready. Katie Hall is ready. And I'm ready too. So I want to formally invite everyone out there to celebrate with us. And we're going to celebrate in style. You know how Katie Hall does it. We're gonna celebrate in style, and we're gonna bring a new chapter in style. That's why we're asking you to join us at the historic Stimson Green Mansion, historical site in Seattle. We wanna bring it in with class, elegance, and grace. This is also a thank you to you, the community, for all those years, 10 years of supporting Katie Hall Foundation. So we want you to come back, sit back, enjoy yourselves. We're looking forward to seeing you there. Don't be late.
One of the biggest off-court skill that any athlete learns is organization and balance, because we have such a balanced schedule with practices, trainings, or games that you won't be able to do any of that if your grades fall below. So I have to prioritize certain things and sacrifice certain things, but I'm okay with that because I want to be a high educated athlete. And some advice I'd give to younger student athletes is just to understand when you need help and to not struggle alone. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, there are resources, not just for athletes, but for everyone. I've known Stuckey since I was in 7th grade, and I knew him before I tore my ACL. And he had been my trainer for the longest time. The biggest thing that he instills in us when we're playing is that, you know, effort shouldn't be asked, it should be always given. And that's just something I'm always thinking about when I'm in the classroom, not even playing basketball. I'm in the classroom, I'm like, effort needs to be given. Every single time I'm in class, I need to be engaged, right? You know, I appreciate everything that he's done for me and he's doing for these girls, because he's a mentor that has been giving back to the community, and he's building up women's sports. You know, as an athlete, we have the platform from being in the spotlight. You never know who's watching you, right? And so from that standpoint, it is important to hold yourself accountable on the way you behave and the way you treat others on and off the court. And I've been giving a lot of different community service opportunities, such as working with homeless youth and being a mentor for young athletes. And, you know, personally, basketball has meant a lot to me, because I have been given a community of like-minded people, many of whom have become very close to me, like family. And I like connecting with people with different backgrounds, you know, bringing them in and learning about them, because just at the end of the day, we humans seek connection, and this just makes me think about how important connection is.
So, Rodney, if you could talk to us a little bit about being a former NBA player and what drew you to the game of basketball, and how did your journey as a player pave the way for your coaching today?
For me, I've started playing basketball probably around when I was 3 years old. My older brothers played basketball, you know, and so just, you know, watching them as I was young pretty much grew me to the game. And, you know, from there, man, I was just a kid that just loved the game of basketball. You know, I didn't want to play any other sport. Basketball has just always just been my thing. As I got into the NBA, it was really eye-opening at first. You know, it was definitely an adjustment, you know, but I think I had the right people behind me as far as my veteran leadership. I was hurt a lot my last year in the NBA. You know, so I got cut my last year. I had my mind thinking, doing a lot of reflecting on like, okay, you know, what's next? What do I want to do? During my last year of playing, you know, there's this guy named Fred Jones who's a former NBA player. He opened up a facility out in Indiana, a Shoot 360 facility, and he was always in my ear like, man, you got to come check this facility out. It's crazy. There's nothing like it. And so Shoot 360 always stuck, and it was in the back of my mind the whole time. You know, I think that was like my calling, you know, just giving back to the youth and all that stuff. That's what I wanted to do.
Rodney, we understand that coaching youth, it requires a very unique approach, right? It's patience, it's passion. And what values and lessons from your career do you emphasize when you're mentoring these young people?
You know, one thing I'm really big on is coming out and just giving effort. You know, that should always just be given. But confidence is the #1 thing, right? You know, you see a lot of coaches on all levels, you know, bringing kids down. You know, the way you talk to them, the way you get your message across is really big, you know, especially in youth sports. You know, you can make or break a player, right? They're gonna make mistakes, you know, they're not gonna always do the things that you want them to do, you know. So just trying to be patient with them, and then also at the same time, just being passionate about this, trying to come in here each and every day with that energy and letting them know that you're engaged and all that stuff is so important, you know. I'm just thankful. I'm blessed. I just stay in my lane, you know, and I try to do the best I can to give back and help people.
When you think about 2050, Rodney, like what is your desire for women and girls? And let's just talk about the WNBA, for example. What's your desire?
Hopefully, you know, one day, you know, things will be different and the people value the women's game. I think collectively, it's gonna take all of us together, you know, not just the women, it's gonna take all of us to try to make that change, you know. And I believe one day, you know, hopefully, you know, it will happen. It's gonna take a lot of hard work. It's gonna take a lot of sacrifice, determination, you know, whatever it may be, you know, but just keep fighting.
Hey everybody, this is your host, Katie Hall. Welcome back to the season finale. The power of legacy lives in every story, in every generation yet to come. The next generation is ready. Their dreams are bigger, their voices are louder, their time is now. This is only the beginning. The future belongs to those who rise.
Okay, so Tamira, now she moved her booty right there. Can you see? It's sticking out. Oh my God, this baby is something else. Let's see where the ice at. Hey, pretty baby. Hey, girl. Check you out. KJ. Say hi. Say hi.
Come here. Come here, KJ. Good job. Yay.
Hi, my name's KJ and I'm 7 years old. I'm so glad that we get to spend the day together. When I grow up, I'm gonna be a doctor and change the world. When I was a baby, the doctor said I had sickle cell. Yup, I had sicky blood. Here's my daddy to tell you a little bit more.
We were so excited about our new baby KJ. When the doctor told us about her sickle cell, the first thing we did was research. Sickle cell disease is an inherited blood disorder. The cells, which are normally round, become shaped like a sickle or crescent. They are hard, sticky, and curved. It is very important to know about your family history because ultimately, sickle cell affects the whole family. But a healthy lifestyle with medications combined with herbs will help KJ manage the symptoms. Here are some of the things that are included in KJ's normal routine. This includes physical wellness, mental wellness, and eating healthy food. Starting off with physical wellness, KJ loves to play like any other normal kid, whether it's on the playground or playing tag with her baby sister Chase. KJ is also a very, very big time swimmer. But we always must remember, extreme temperature changes for KJ is not a good thing. And always remember, sickle cell may cause the child to tire more easily and need to rest a little bit more frequently. Moving on to the mental wellness, we do our absolute best to make sure we are managing KJ's stress.
We also make sure that we foster self-esteem, encourage strengths, and her assets. We make sure we provide a positive reinforcements as much as possible. And we certainly encourage creativity and imagination instead of emphasizing on limitations. Now on to KJ's daily diet routine. We certainly make sure we get as much superfoods into KJ's daily diet as possible. We certainly recommend asking your doctor about having your child tested for any potential nutritional deficiencies. We also recommend reducing and eliminating as much sugar as possible into your child's diet, just as we do with KJ. And one of the most basic things we feel is one of the most critical things: stay hydrated. It's at least recommended that drinking at a minimum 10 glasses of water a day does great things for KJ. One of the most difficult things to deal with raising a child with sickle cell disease is the pain, also known as sickle cell crisis. This can happen at any time of the day or night. It may last a few hours, a few days, or unfortunately even a few weeks. Sickle cell pain can be anywhere in the body, but the most common sites are the arms, legs, back, and stomach. Some pain can be treated at home or during the day at school, but sometimes the pain becomes severe enough to need hospitalization. We make sure we help KJ prevent infections by taking some simple steps, which including washing her hands, taking her daily medications, combined with her natural herbs. We also make sure we're always looking out for the weather. Remember, cold weather is not good. Spend very little time at high altitudes, and this includes under the unusual circumstance that your child happens to be flying in an unpressurized cabin above 10,000 feet. Unlikely, however, something to pay attention to. You never know. Our family has a mantra, and it goes like this: enjoy life to the fullest. Yes, KJ has sickle cell disease, but KJ also has a full life to live. There are incredible things happening right now in medicine in regards to the sickle cell disease. There's hope with new treatments, medications that are currently pending. Right now, our job is to make sure that we are providing the best support system to help KJ thrive and live a healthy, normal life as possible.
Thank you so much for joining us. What a journey. Katie Hall Foundation has just marked in on 10 years. 10 years of changing lives one girl at a time. But it didn't start that way. This journey started out of triumph and out of struggle. When I think back to 20 years ago, I was facing over 35 years in federal prison, to standing before you today and for the Katie Hall Foundation to be at 10 years and to know that we have so many girls on the rise all around the state, over 80 college ambassadors that we graduated out of colleges of Washington State, partnerships all throughout the state with organizations from government to for-profit to nonprofit. We did not make it here alone, and we will not make it to year 20 alone. We need you. We need your support. We need you to pass the word around, because together we rise. Thank you so much for joining me in this first season of Conversations with Katie Hall. We thank you and we see you soon.